Israel is killing kids. I hear this all the time when I speak to people online, in person. It doesn't really matter. When the topic comes up, this is all anyone ever seems to know about the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. It's often how people even open their conversations with me, especially when they see this flag behind me. Why is Israel killing kids? It's as if, that's the IDF's aim, and Hamas and other militant groups don't even exist in the equation. But is it true? Let's take a look at the role children sadly, devastatingly play in the war against Israel. And really, honestly, in the war against the West. The reality should shock you. It should make you sick. To begin, I want to tell you the story of a boy named Hussam Abdo. In March of 2004, the tail end of the Second Palestinian Intifada, 16-year-old Hussam Abdo made his way towards the Hawara checkpoint. But Israeli police quickly picked up on a number of red flags, starting with Abdo's bulky red jersey. Underneath his shirt, Hussam was wearing an explosive suicide vest containing 5 kilos or about 11 pounds of explosives, along with nails and shrapnel. In the dramatic video taken from the scene that you're watching now, Israeli soldiers instructed Abdo on how to disarm the device. Israeli soldiers saved his life. Confused and scared, Abdo told the Israelis who were there to help him that he didn't want to die, he didn't want to blow up. And after questioning, he was released to his family. Hussam's brother later told news agencies that Hussam was mentally disabled, adding, quote, "He doesn't know anything. He has the intelligence of a 12-year-old. Later reports also added that Hussam was bullied in class. So who put poor Abdo in this situation? Who was it that took advantage of a mentally slow bullying victim who probably just wanted to belong? Was it Israel? No. It was the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigades, the military wing of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas's Fatah party, who paid him about $25 and then convinced him that he'd be a martyr who gets to have sex with virgins. But that's not all, because you see, Abdo was far from the first and far from the last child to be placed in such a position, often with adults at the ready from a safe distance with their fingers on the detonators. On July 3rd that year, if we fast forward just a couple months, 16-year-old Mu'taz Tahsin Karini and his 2 operators were arrested while the 12-kilogram explosive belt that he was carrying was detonated safely. 2 days later, IDF forces detonated 2 explosive belts concealed in school bags. A week later, on July 14, the Shin Bet arrested 17-year-old suicide bomber Ahmed Bushkar from Nablus. On September 23, 2004, a day before the Jewish Yom Kippur holiday, Israeli security forces captured a suicide bomber and a 7-kilogram explosive belt in the village of Deir Hana. The 15-year-old was part of a joint terrorist cell of the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. 4 days later, on September 27, 2004, a 15-year-old suspected suicide bomber was arrested in Nablus again. On October 28th, Ayub Ma'aruf, a 16-year-old Fatah suicide bomber, was arrested near Nablus again, along with his operator. Then on November 1st, 2004, 16-year-old Amar Al-Far successfully blew himself up in Tel Aviv's Carmel Market. He killed 3 Israelis for the PFLP, or the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, a socialist terrorist outfit. Al-Far's parents condemned the group for exploiting their son, saying, quote, "God will curse those who recruited Amar. I had heard the stories of recruiting children in Nablus, but I didn't think they were true." The problem is that it is true, and sometimes it wasn't just brainwashing, but outright coercion. On October 11th, 2005, a year later, and by the way, there were plenty of attacks in between, which I cut out in the interest of brevity. A 14-year-old Palestinian boy was arrested, telling IDF soldiers that he was forced to agree to commit a suicide bombing when 2 terrorists from Fatah's Tanzim faction threatened to murder him by spreading a false leaflet accusing him of collaborating with Israel unless he agreed to the bombing. According to reports, they took pictures of him with a gun and a Quran, and then they forced him to write his own will. Can you imagine that? A 14-year-old boy being exploited and told to write his own will, or else they'll get him killed, one way or another. I don't know what that says to you, but to me it says child abuse in the worst form. And on and on and on. Stories like these are sadly way too easy to find if you only take the time to look. And while some parents, like Al-Fawz, cursed those who pushed their children to martyrdom, some children's own parents were those doing the pushing. Mariam Mohammed Yusuf Farhat, aka Nidal, was a Palestinian militant who was described by ABC News as having sent 3 of her sons on suicide missions and later became famous in Palestinian culture as the mother of martyrs. Of her 10 children, she had 6 sons, 5 of whom were killed conducting or planning terror attacks for Hamas with her blessing. And in 2006, she was elected to the Palestinian legislature on Hamas's electoral list. But Aaron, you say, that was then, and this is now, right? Today, the IDF is killing kids. They're targeting kids, you say. But again, are they? When you look at a war, you sadly have to break down casualties into 2 camps. And the camps are not militants and civilians, but combatants and non-combatants. The distinction is important because, as any real soldier will tell you, the latter can quickly become the former by picking up a gun and starting to shoot, especially when fighters don't wear uniforms, as is the case with Hamas. It's one of the many reasons categorizing casualties is so difficult, particularly when the fog of war is still so foggy. So who are the combatants in Gaza? Is it everyone? No, surely not. There are many innocent lives doing their best to live a life free of Hamas's tyranny and the murder and mayhem that Hamas and their kind preach. One such organization that is flourishing with this peaceful population today is the Palestinian Center for Peace Communications, which you can see here. It preaches tolerance, unity, peaceful coexistence, and negotiations, rather than war and death. You can see their work on their channel on X. Okay? And it's for the sake of Gazans like these that, from the onset of the war, Israel has warned civilians of impending attacks by dropping millions of leaflets, making millions of phone calls, sending millions of texts, dropping roof knocker warning bombs, facilitating the movement of millions of people away from the fighting, often amidst Hamas's typically violent attempts to block civilians' escape. But tragically, many, if not most, according to the Palestinians' own polling, have been drinking the Kool-Aid, and they have indeed been inculcated in Hamas's genocidal ways of thinking from a very young age. And you don't take my word for it, take theirs.
Summer camps in the Gaza Strip are stirring controversy after it was revealed that some of them are providing youngsters with military training to fight against Israelis. The camps are run by armed groups, including Hamas and the Islamic Jihad Union. At least one of the camps reportedly trains youth to fire live ammunition, lay mines, and even kidnap Israeli soldiers. But camps run by Islamists aren't the only option for Gaza children. Parents reluctant to send children to such military training camps prefer to choose summer camps organized by the United Nations, where kids can participate in sports and cultural activities.
We have principles, we have agreements. It's for us, we are educating the students of Palestinians as students of Palestine, in our schools, making sure that they have the proper education. For military and other issues, it's of course, it's outside the...
But of course, UNRWA's lying, and we know this. You say UNRWA says they don't teach hate. Right? We just heard it from him. But they do. Parents who are even trying to get their kids away from the Jihad summer camps and instead send their kids to an UNRWA summer camp still get sickness. They get this. She says, my name is Aya Ahmed Abdullah Saeed Albana. She's an UNRWA student. I study at UNRWA's Tulkarm Camp Girls' School. Did you learn anything in school, they say, about the right of return? Yes, the right of the brave, and we'll return to our land, stuff like that. What do they teach you about Israel? She says that we'll shoot them. Do you hate the Jews? Yes, a lot. Why? Because they're our enemies. And we'll take back our right from them. What do you think about the attack on Israel on October 7th, they ask her, and the war that happened after it? Is this connected to the right of return? Yes. It's so that we can take Palestine and so that our land returns to us. Do you think Al-Aqsa is just symbolic? No. I'm willing to fight for it. Is there room for the Jews in Al-Aqsa? No. Do the Jews have the right to exist in Palestine? No. Because Palestine is ours, not theirs. Is it possible to divide Palestine between Jews and the Palestinians? No. This is our land. What would you like to watch most on your phone? I like to watch things about Palestine, the martyrs, the resistance fighters, and Hamas. So you would like to join the resistance? Yes. Why? So that I can fight and take my rights from Israel and become a martyr. So what do you learn in school about peace? It teaches me that we don't like Israel. That's what they learned about peace, she says. When asked, what do you learn about peace? She says, we learn that we don't like Israel. Okay, well, maybe that's just one girl. Maybe she misunderstood. Nope. It's pretty continuous. This is in July 2024. This is during the war. What is UNRWA teaching? Here's another UNRWA student. My name is Nuruddin Khalid. I am 14 years old. What school do you go to? UNRWA Jalazon Boys School. Did you learn anything in school about the right of return? Sure. The teachers teach us about the right of return, that we must return to our land, and that it's our land. Israel conquered it, and inshallah we'll return. Is Al-Aqsa just symbolic, or are you ready to fight for it? Inshallah, we're ready to fight even if we die. Can Jerusalem be divided between Jews and Palestinians? No, because it doesn't matter who your neighbor is, except for the Jews, because the Jews will betray anyone. What do you want to be when you grow up? Inshallah, I'll be a martyr. Inshallah, I'll be in the resistance, Hamas. Do the teachers at school teach you anything about Israel? Or do they say anything about Israel? Yes, they always tell us that Israel is the one that occupies us. And that they'll always harm, and that they're always harming Al-Aqsa Mosque. And that they're blowing up Al-Aqsa Mosque. Do you hate the Jews? Yes. Yes, he says. Do you hate the Jews? Yes. And does it end there? No. It's systemic. We know that it's systemic because of years of reports from organizations like Impact SE that it is absolutely endemic in UNRWA schools and, in fact, most Palestinian curriculum. Here's another report from 12 years ago.
Appears harmless, right?
But who is this? Dalal al-Mughrabi, who led a terrorist attack and murdered 38 people, including 13 children, on the coastal road of Israel in 1978.
Her picture appears in the 5th grade Arabic language textbook. It's part of a 4-page lesson that hails Mughrabi as a martyr who painted with her struggle a picture of challenge and heroism. The text in front of us provides a glance on the path of her struggle.
It's a glimpse of her path that we should follow. She's glorified. Murder people. That's the answer. That's the answer UNRWA teaches. Because UNRWA is Hamas. For anybody who isn't yet convinced. Okay, fine. That's the schools. But maybe they can learn it somewhere else. Maybe it's not just Hamas, right? Maybe it's not just the schools. Okay. Maybe. Except, I would say that you could see this everywhere. Because UNRWA's been lambasted for years for praising terrorism in their schools, a place where children, again, should be protected, not indoctrinated to violence. You know, same thing, say, as for kids' television shows. This is from May 2014. Listen, my friend, are there Jews where you are? Says the giant bumblebee. No, not now, the boy says on the phone. I heard they come to you every day. Yes, but not now. Listen, friend, do like this with your hands, makes a fist. And when they come to you, punch them. Make their face red like a tomato. Allah willing, so that we can liberate Palestine, the boy responds. My friend Kais, anyway, I tell them to take a stone. Take a stone. And when the Jews come, take it and throw it at them. Of course, the Jewish neighbors. To smash them. If his neighbors are Jews or Zionists? Yes. Yes, of course. Why do you want to be a police officer, Tulin? Oh, like my uncle. Wants to be a police officer like her uncle Ahmed. Is he a policeman? Yes. And what do policemen do? Catches thieves and people who make trouble? And shoots Jews, right? The host says. Yes, the girl nods. You want to be like him? Allah willing, when you grow up, yes, so that I can shoot the Jews. All of them? Yes. Good. This is what they're teaching. This is a children's television show. Here's another one from 2015. Who taught you this poem, Mohammed? My mom. And who discovered your talent for poetry? My mom. May Allah grant long life to such a mother, Muhammad. Okay, let's hear your poem. O Jerusalem, I shall redeem you with my soul and my blood. I shall liberate you from the Jews. By means of the Al-Qassam brigades, of course. I bring glad tidings to our prisoners. Salvation is near. What do you want to be when you grow up, Muhammad? A member of Al-Qassam brigades. Wonderful. And you, Zechariah, what would you like to be? An engineer? Why do you want to be an engineer? So that I can blow up the Jews. Isn't that nice? Isn't that great? It's so he can blow up the Jews. And that brings me really to my final video, right? It shows that, again, it's not just some Hamas members here and there and a few bad apple teachers at UNRWA as UNRWA would have you believe. No, it's the imams, it's the mothers and fathers and brothers and teachers and kids' TV shows, all paving the way to hell. Did you bring this small child here in order to deliver a message to Hamas that our children support them? I brought them in order to teach them from infancy to love Hamas and the Al-Qassam brigades. We bring our small children to teach them. No matter what the Jews of the Arab world will do to Hamas, we will support it. My message to every Palestinian mother is that she should urge her sons to wage jihad. A jihad for the sake of Allah is a lofty desire. Is this not jihad? Is this not martyrdom? Death is inevitable. Why not die as martyrs? I salute every mother of a martyr who urges her children to wage jihad. Many women wish to be in the place of martyrdom seekers or together with them. Most kindergartens in Gaza belong to our sisters in Hamas. Children are raised from a young age on this culture. Allah is our goal. Jihad for the sake of Allah is our goal. From infancy, children are nurtured to love jihad, to want to meet Allah, and to love fighting the enemy. This is Palestinian Raja al-Halabi, head of the Hamas's women movement, on Al-Aqsa TV in December of 2022. How are you, Abdullah? Fine. Will you complete the path of your brother Bara, a martyr? Yes, I will. Now that Bara was martyred yesterday, what do you want to do for the sake of the prisoners and for the homeland? I will fight the jihad and I will be martyred just like him, inshallah. Muhammad, what are you going to do after Bara's martyrdom? Are you going to follow Bara's path and follow in the footsteps? Yes, I will do just that, and I will be martyred, just like he was martyred. That's a Palestinian scholar, Wael al-Zard, interviewing with kids in Gaza on Al-Aqsa TV, September 2023. Less than a month before the October 7th attacks. What do you think kids like this are going to do when given a gun and told to march out in front of the IDF? What would you do if they were your children? Who would you blame for abusing them like this? Because that's what this is. This is abuse. Here's more. I told my eldest son, I always pray that I, your father, brothers, daughters, and sons, that all of you become martyrs for the sake of Allah, that when death comes for us, we will all be martyrs for the sake of Allah. I'm proud of Muhammad, obviously. Allah be praised, all my sons are religious. They are all good. By Allah, if all my children and grandchildren are martyred for the sake of Allah, oh yeah, it will make me happy. Allah be praised, I love his path. Allah be praised, all the young Muslims in Gaza love martyrdom. Just as our enemies, the infidel Jewish dogs, love life. We continue on the same path and pray to meet him in paradise. This is the martyr's youngest boy. His name is Mashal. He's named after the great leader Khalid Mashal from Hamas. Allah willing, little Mashal will be like the big Mashal. We are all moving forward for the sake of Allah. I want to fire missiles at the Jews and be martyred like my father. We all hope to become martyrs for the sake of Allah. Even if they kill us all, we will continue to fire missiles. We will not stop the jihad. I'm following the path of jihad and I want to be martyred like my dad. Again, I can't express how sick this makes me feel as a father, as a human being, that this is the child abuse that is being writ across the territory. And again, I'm not saying that all the kids are targets. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And if you see anybody who says that they are, they're sick too. But this is where they're being taught. This is how they're being taught. It's sick. It's sick. And this is what they're learning. Here's what they learn about martyrdom. When a man is martyred, he sees his seat in paradise. And he is dressed in the clothes of faith. He is a special and unique person, different from the rest of the people by the grace of Allah. By the way, this is Palestinian Sheikh Omar Nofal, a judge in Gaza court. A judge in Gaza court. This is from 2018. On television, broadcast to millions. In addition, he's married to 72 virgins of paradise. This means that he is granted in paradise some of the things that he wished for in life. But they are magnified to a degree that the human mind cannot comprehend. Yes, how can anyone cling to this world after hearing all of these great rewards? You can see that our young people have renounced life in this world and hastened to become martyrs. Brother, do you love her? You'll be given 2 wives as you enter paradise. Presumably he's talking to a man who doesn't want to die because he has a wife, I guess. There will be no menstruation, no childbirth, no saliva, no mucus, no urine and no excrement. If a woman from the dwellers of paradise were to merely look upon the people of the earth, she would fill the earth with light and with a wonderful scent. Therefore, you will be given in paradise the sexual strength of a few men. Allah's messenger was asked, will we be able to endure this? He said that every man will be given the strength of 100 men. The virgins of paradise will be jealous for you and they will sing for you. The Prophet Muhammad said that the virgins shall sing in paradise. The Prophet Muhammad informed us that a martyr killed by the people of the book is equal to 2 martyrs. Well, that's great. In other words, his reward is equal to that of 2 martyrs. This does not apply to martyrs killed fighting other infidels. The people of the book are the Jews. In addition, Allah tells us that he cursed the Jews and that he's very angry with them. And he turned them into apes and pigs. I don't know how else to say this. It's a sickness of the mind. Is this the true Islam? Because I often hear from Muslims, this is not the real Islam. So great, I believe you. But do something about this. Because this is what people are doing to your true Islam. This is what the Palestinians are saying. They're bastardizing your true Islam. What are you going to do about it? Anything? Anything at all? Does it matter? I think it does. I think it's child abuse. I think it's societal abuse at the highest order. Take back. Stop apologizing for things like this. And in this, I'm talking to the pro-Palestinian crowd. If you're truly pro-Palestinian, then it should churn your stomach to see this. The moment I get the mission to blow up inside the green line between Israeli citizens, it doesn't matter if it's in a house, a home, in a room, even with children inside it, I will blow myself up. I will not feel regret for any Israeli child, and no remorse even if it's a kindergarten full of kids. In paradise, all what you'll do is pick fruit from the trees, penetrate virgins, and walk by the rivers. How great! And you'll sit with Muhammad, the chosen prophet. With the help of Allah, when you press on the button of the explosive belt, your body will fly and your soul will fly to paradise. How great, yeah! And all of the 7 doors to paradise will open for you. And by the way, for anyone who thinks that this is just about the Jews or just about the Israelis, pay attention. I swear by Allah, we will chase the Jews, remove them from Palestine and Jerusalem. And if they don't convert to Islam, even if they go to the end of the world, we'll chase them and call them to Islam. And then also the Christians will need to convert to Islam. That is the only religion that really has compassion. Are you listening? People in the West? Because this is the messaging. When you hear people talking and screaming from the rooftops saying, glory to our martyrs, globalize the intifada. This is what they're talking about, whether they know it or not. This is it. Please pay attention. It's sickness. It's child abuse. We are the greatest generation. We are the generation of the upcoming victory. We will never recognize Israel. We asked Hitler why he left some of you alive. He did so in order to show us how wicked you are. We will come to you from under the ground and hammer fear into your hearts. And above the ground, we will tear your bodies apart with our rockets. Let's return to Abd al-Rahim Abu Ubaidah. Please give us your message to the enemy by reciting the poem, I Do Not Fear the Gun. I do not fear the gun. I do not fear the gun. You are all nothing but herds of deluded idiots. Jerusalem is my land. Jerusalem is my honor. Jerusalem is my life and my dew-covered dreams. O you slayers of Allah's pious prophets, you who have been raised on the shedding of blood, humiliation and suffering have been decreed upon you. O sons of Zion, O the most evil of creatures, O barbaric apes. Jerusalem rejects you and vomits your filth. And here we are back at UNRWA. This is in 2019. Look how old he is. Everyone needs to attack Jews until there will not be a single Jew on this land. We need to run them over with cars, the Jews, and go on stabbing missions and use weaponry. These missions of running over the Jews and stabbing them brings honor to Palestine. Listen, I'll link the rest of this video. It's long and I've already been droning for a while. I'll link the rest of this video below. But again, does this justify the death of a child? Absolutely not. But when you feel that anger and the lamentation over their deaths, when the pit of your stomach churns into knots as you watch the news, or heaven forbid TikTok, about the dying children in Gaza, you should point your fingers at the sick bastards who, rather than protecting their kids, have been abusing them and teaching them to search for jihad and death. Now, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment your thoughts below. Share this video with everyone because other people need to see. This is the truth of what Israel is fighting. It's not about land. It's not about Israel. It's not about freedom for Palestine. It's about a religious terrorist organization who has bastardized Islam beyond recognition. According to most Muslims, I will take most Muslims at their word that when they say that this is a bastardization. But then they need to take it back from these people, not apologize for them and whitewash their crimes against their own people. Thank you so much again. I love you. Take care.